Child, I meant to do this video a couple of weeks ago. So when a man is approaching me, and for those of y'all who already follow me, I don't entertain first timers. That's just not my thing. I'm not interested in it. I like people with experience. And part of the reason that I like experience is because I know that the men know what they're doing, but I also know that they're going to be mindful of what they are saying. Language is very important to me, especially as a trans woman that centers my pleasure. I need to know that me and the men that I'm engaging, that we are speaking the same language. And I have had this experience where I can tell, particularly of men of a certain age, a lot of terms may be confusing for them, or they may be using terms in the wrong way. And I'm usually very flexible if I can sense that your intent is not to be disrespectful. So a couple of weeks ago, I had a situation with this very fine gentleman. I think he was like in his like later 40s, maybe early 50s. I love me an older man from time to time. But I noticed when we were talking, and when he was talking about me or like people like me, he kept on saying black trans men. And he's not the only word person that I've seen see this do this when they say black trans men when they really mean to say black trans women or trans women. That was weird as fuck. It kind of turned me off. But I'm the type of person that I'm going to like ask probing questions to really get to the bottom to see if this something that's an easy fix, or are you really at your depth and we just need to enter in the interaction now. Because if you keep calling me a black trans man or calling me a man, that's going to turn me off and I'm not going to want to do anything to you. So as you see in this message, clearly he likes the girls, but he specifically says, I've been into thicker black trans men. And me being the woman that I am, I'm like, black trans men, because we have to get the language together. So then I don't know if he kind of sensed it, but he kind of backs up off it and then just goes back to trans. And I'm like, no, we're not letting this go, because I'm not sleeping with you, and in your head you think I'm a man, or you think you're going to be referring to me as a man, because that it's just not going to go down like that. So let's go to the next slide. So then when I start to press him, he falls back on I'm a man from a different generation and all that other bullshit. So then I respond and I say, trans women were always trans women no matter what generation they're from. Like I am friends with trans women who are in their 40s, black trans women who are in their 40s, who are in their 50s, who are in their 60s, who are in their 70s, who have been trans for a long time. So trans women were always trans women, and none of the trans women I know have ever answered to being called black trans men or trans men. That's just not a thing. And also, I've dealt with, I think the oldest man that I've slept with and or had sex with had to be in his early to mid 60s. Like I have a range. I can, play young, like 25, 26, and I go because I appreciate a man in all stages. And also I know men of all ages that know the language, especially older men. So I think when I was pressing him, that was making him uncomfortable. So, but by then, the fact that he just didn't apologize like initially, and he kept trying to 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 backpedal or whatever, it just turned me off, and it just reaffirmed for me, because I have a core set of values when I'm engaging in, and the language has to be right. And when I say right, it doesn't have to be like crystal clear all the way right, because I know language is changing and language is evolving. But I'm not about to sleep with nobody that is thinking of me as a man, or blatantly calling me a man, and that even goes for like men that I've messed with in the past, and they're saying tranny. Now I know everybody feels different about tranny, but if you're trying to be in my space and I'm telling you don't say a word or this word makes me feel a type of way, and you're just trying to brush off my feelings or like trivialize it, I'm not gonna want to have sex with you. So I love being transparent just about like my dating life and stuff like that, because a lot of people, especially younger trans girls or even trans women who are my contemporaries, say how they learn and how it's been helpful. But for me, a man has to know how to speak the language. Matter of fact, if a man knows how to speak the language, that's one of the things that turns me on and gets me up. But you just can't give me any type of language and still expect me to engage, especially when I'm probing and I'm trying to get to the heart and you're not owning it. But I'm not sleeping with nobody calling me a black trans man, because one, that's not what I am. Two, black trans women have always been black trans women since I've known of our existence. So like I'm not letting you get off that easily, and I have a responsibility to prepare you for the next trans woman that you come into contact with, so you won't make an ass of yourself. Yes, you blew it with me, but maybe you might have an opportunity and you will use this experience, not to say the dumb shit that you say, but yeah, I also feel like because it's more popular now for men to want to engage with trans women, I think a lot of them are so excited and overzealous, and they see us as basically they fetishize us. They see us as these sex objects, and they don't think that they have to. They don't think there are any rules of engagement for how to court us, whether it be like a romantic situation or whether it be a sexual situation. Like I said, I love a man that knows how to speak the language and that can speak the language in a way that is enticing to me and that is not disgusting and that's a turnoff. And there are men that know how to do that. I love when I come across a man and we're speaking the same language where it's a beautiful thing, but then you have situations like this where it's over before it starts. But just wanted to be transparent with y'all, honey. The trade is out here tripping, talking to the girls crazy, and update your operating system and make sure the language is where it needs to be, especially if you're trying to pursue a seasoned transsexual like myself. And that is all for Brianna's crazy love life for today.